think at the end of the day, mobility, we are not only supporting our employees and their families, but we're also supporting the business. And with that, we must ensure that we are keeping ourselves, our programs, our policies fully up to date, ensure that our programs are competitive.
All right. From a business point of view, global mobility is moving its workforce across borders to achieve organizational goals and also to drive performance growth and to leverage the diverse pool that is available on a global scale.
A lot of people don't know what I do. Friends and family, strangers, when I say, hey, I work in HR, I do global mobility, they're like, what's that, right? And I try to explain from a dual perspective. So we have the employee perspective and the company perspective. From the employee perspective, global mobility supports one of their most exciting and challenging and anxiety-inducing part of their lives, right? I am supporting employees who need to move for business reasons to a different country, right? Or they need to move to a different state, or they need a work visa to continue working. I help facilitate that transaction with our vendors, with our partners, and making sure this is a seamless experience for our employees so they can focus on what matters in their personal lives and they can focus on their jobs and bring their whole self to work. Now, from a business perspective, is this facilitation of movement of workers, right? And just looking at it, just at the initial look, it may seem like it's really straightforward, right? But as part of our role, we help guide the business and understand complications and that can arise due to immigration, due to all the various changes that happen in immigration worldwide, right? We help keep the business up to date on all, immigration regulations, whatnot. The same with keeping the business up to date on what's competitive in the market for relocation packages, as well as making sure we're compliant from a tax perspective. So we just want to make sure that we empower and enable the business to make the best choices as possible in this space.
What is mobility? It's everything HR. It really is looking after the person relocating. So there is the admin side of just doing the relocation A to B, but then there is all the complexity of the legal worlds. When I say worlds, it's countries. So, and they can be worlds apart, these legal systems. And there's the person and the family. So I think mobility is everything from knowing your foundations in legislations, employment, policies, procedures, to being at times a counsellor and a supporter, a mentor, and just someone who listens, a trusted advisor.
Global mobility is supporting all the employees in a company that work cross borders, and we have different flavors nowadays. We have people who are on a business trip that need support, but we also have employees that work on a short-term assignment project in another country, or long-term, and then they travel with the entire family to another country. And as a mobility advisor, you support them on all the topics that are involved with working cross borders. And that can be from taxation, social security, insurances, immigration, and all the personal matters that come in play. Also for the joining family, like cultural awareness, language training, schooling. So it basically entails the entire scope that touches a person moving to another country.
Global mobility is a lot of things, but at the core, it's moving people from one country to the other and helping them grow, whether it's in their careers or as a person experiencing a whole other culture, and growing professionally and personally.
To get into global mobility, I would say that a person should be planned and very organized, should like other cultures and to learn the people, because it's a very dynamic scenario and every time things happen in a different way. Even we have process, even we have models. No one assignment is equal another. So we are dealing with people, and definitely you should like people.
My advice would be definitely networking with the people in this industry. There are lots of people, including me on LinkedIn, who are happy to be approached to have a conversation, just to understand the business, what we do on a daily basis, the vision in different aspects. Like, I think people, what I would advise to people is just approach to people who are happy to be approached and talk with them just to understand the business and what they do, and also where the business is going, because I think there might be some question marks in terms of, like, it's not like being a doctor or a teacher, right? So it's sometimes even hard to explain what you do to other people outside of the business, from this sector. So my advice would be definitely do lots of networking and reach out to people who are happy to have a conversation with you and tell you and explain to you what we do, what the business do in general in terms of global mobility.
Global mobility, I think in a corporate setting, is coordinating the movement of employees from one country to another, and it requires collaboration from many business stakeholders and external partners, including immigration, tax, relocation, global travel, and even the business themselves when it comes to managers playing an active role. So that's how I would define global mobility on its face. But of course, there's so many soft skills that go along with making this a successful function. I would say empathy, patience, clear and proactive communication with all of the various stakeholders involved, and just managing expectations. So that's really a very key part of making global mobility a success as well.
Come join us. Mobility is exciting. It's always changing. There's more to it than you would initially think. So it's not just getting people from one place to another. There's a lot of side entrances and a lot of different personalities in mobility. There's real estate focus, immigration focus, tax focus, and of course corporate HR focus. So there are a lot of different angles that that your career can take you, and you have to be a team player there because it takes a village to make relocations and expat assignments successful. And there are a lot of things that change overall, and you have to connect with different corporate functions. So it's never boring, and there's always something going on. So unless you're somebody who likes your day to be the same every day, and you clock in and clock out, which is for these persons, I would not recommend the mobility, but for everyone else, the mobility can be really exciting.